everyone, and welcome to our educational presentation today. The topic of this presentation is defining consciousness. What is it? My name is Paul Arsuf and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project, but I am going to talk about the projects that we're working on in the end of this presentation, and let's come back to the beginning of this presentation. As some people are asking, in order to understand consciousness, we need to define it. And I agree with this. So here is a definition that we are going to put for the consciousness. Many people attempt to define consciousness by discussing its manifestations or its qualities, which places a fundamental and unwarranted presumption on its nature. Consciousness is seen as a product or effect of complicated matters, perception, consciousness of things is often mistaken or just not differentiated from the consciousness itself. So, what is consciousness itself? Consciousness is the condition from which all phenomena arises. It is the source from which all phenomena, physical, mental, casual, are projected from, like a hologram. Consciousness is the perfectly subjective, uncreated and unbounded feeling of being that animates all things. Consciousness is not a product or a created thing. It exists as an all-permeating, casual field that animates everything. Consciousness cannot be directly addressed. There is no verbal answer that can express what it is, because it is always the context of all occurrence and always the context of anything that attempts to define it. Because it is acasual, it was not created and cannot be destroyed, and in it itself does not create or destroy. It is just is. The universal field of consciousness can become localized, can seemingly become associated with matter. This occurs when matter networks together and works via a principle of synchronization. When multiple oscillators are connected via a common body, those oscillators will spontaneously seek to synchronize with each other into a singular system. This synchronization results in a system which now possesses a lower entropic state than that of the environment. The lowering entropy is what enables the singular system to observe its environment. An observer must exist in a lower state of entropy than its environment in order to observe anything. The universal field is consciousness, but it is not conscious of anything. It cannot be because it's inherently non-local, and observation requires a locality. It is localization that enables objectivity through the creation of observational event horizons and through constraints. This is what our human brain does. The brain acts as sensor, actuator, control, constraining perception by transducing sensory input and actuator output, which generates the subjective experience of time in context with the senses. It is the observational horizon and constraints of the brain that acts to reflect consciousness back to itself, enabling perception, enabling consciousness of things. Perception is tripartite. It requires an observer which possesses an observational horizon. Both of them arise within the conscious field, providing the three components necessary for perception: the observer, the observed, and the reference frame. Consciousness is not a product of anything. Consciousness is the ground of all things. And with this said, I'm ending this presentation. Admittedly, it is very short, but very philosophical, and I can say maybe a little bit metaphysical. And I like to come back to the beginning of this presentation when I told you that my name is Paul Arsov. I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project, and currently we work on three different projects. The first project that I want to mention is a marketplace and collection of non-fungible tokens or NFTs, which are based on three-dimensional objects. With three-dimensional objects, there has to be special software which reads the file of the 3D object and then it displays it in a computer display. In general, people who are creating three-dimensional objects, they use standard software, and there are two very popular choices. Both of them are game engines. One of them is called Unity and the other one is called Unreal. But from the very beginning of this project with our 3D NFTs, we decided to build our own 3D software engine, and what it does is it reads the file of the 3D object, then it opens a window in a computer screen. It loads and displays this file of the 3D object, and then it starts animating this 3D object in a way of moving it in a random way around the window it did open. But in addition to these basic capabilities of reading 3D file, 3D object file, loading and displaying, and then animating of this 3D object, our 3D software engine has multiple additional capabilities. The first additional capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of speaking. Our 3D NFTs can speak in one of three basic voices. The 3D NFTs can speak either in a male voice or in a female voice or in a whisper kind of a voice. In addition to the three basic voices, There are three different flavors of voices. A voice can be spoken either in a normal speed manner, or in a fast speed manner, or in a slow speed manner. So if we take a male voice and it is spoken in a slow speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a masculine person or the voice of an old person. If on the other hand we take a female voice and it is spoken in a fast speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a little girl or the voice of a funny person. The next additional important capability of our 3D software engine is the capability of voice recognition. The 3D NFTs can recognize voice commands, and if we have a 3D NFT which is being animated and constantly moving around the window, then we can issue our very first voice command to this 3D NFT to stop moving. And then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. We can issue following voice commands to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each one of these separate voice commands and move left, then move right, move up, then move down, come closer, zoom in, go farther away, zoom out, and start rotating. The next additionally important capability of our 3D software engine is the capability of them having basic artificial intelligence. Wow, really wow. The 3D NFTs can you can ask the 3D NFT what is your name, and then the 3D NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT who are you, and then the 3D NFT is going to reply in few sentences of who they are. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something. For example, describe Web3 or describe decentralization or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to describe in few sentences about Web3 or about decentralization or about the country called Russia. The last additional and not least important capability for our 3D NFTs is the capability of them being displayed in a way of stereoscopics. What stereoscopics means is that part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in red or reddish colors, and another part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or bluish colors. Then you, the user, can come to our 3D NFT marketplace, and probably now is the time to tell you the name and the URL of the 3D NFT marketplace. It is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is typed in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters NFT, and it is all together 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are two words which are typed one after another and together, decentralized web. And then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, 3D NFT dot decentralizedweb.org. On the top of the main page and every other page, you're going to see number of links, and one of these links points to accessories. When you click on this link, you're going to see that we are offering special glasses. You can order one pair of these glasses, and when you receive these glasses, you're going to see that one lens of these glasses is red and the other lens of these glasses is blue. When you receive these glasses, you can put these glasses on. You can request a displaying of the 3D NFTs in a way of stereoscopics, and then you're going to see the 3D NFT as coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see it in real 3 dimensions. With this said, I'm ending talking about our 3D software engine and our collection of 3D NFTs. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our 3D NFT marketplace. In our 3D NFT marketplace, we have our own blockchain instance. It runs Ethereum software, and it is the same software which runs on Ethereum mainnet. It runs on Binance Smart Chain. It runs on Avalanche AVAX chain. It runs on Polygon Matic chain, and it runs on many other famous or not so famous blockchains. By having our own blockchain instance, then we do not require our users to pay gas fees for deployments of the smart contracts for the non-fungible tokens, and our users do not pay gas fees for transactions of transfer of ownership from one user to another user. In this way, we also allow our users to purchase and receive proceedings from sale, not just with a single crypto coin, but currently we have choice of 4 different crypto coins which our users can, who come to our 3D NFT marketplace, can use for buying and then receive proceedings from sale of our 3D NFTs. These 4 choices of crypto coins include Solana Sol, Polygon Matic, Avalanche AVAX, and Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to buying and selling with crypto, we have a second parallel and independent way of buying and selling our 3D NFTs, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. With our I can give an example. For example, if you're user, you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you come to our main page, you click on the composite image of our first collection, and then you're going to see all of the 3D NFTs in our first collection listed one after another. So let's say you browse through this first collection, you click on one 3D NFT that you like, then you're going to see a short video of this 3D NFT as it is moving, and then you're going to see a drop-down menu which is asking you to select between 4 different crypto coins, and there is a 5th choice of paying with fiat currency. So let's say you select this choice, then you click on the button to advance next, and then you're going to be presented with a screen which is asking you to put the number of your debit or credit card, when you expiration date and CVC. When you click on the button to complete this payment, then what is going to happen is there's going to be a transaction, and conversion from your national fiat currency to US dollars, and this payment for the purchase of the 3D NFTs is going to be deposited in US dollars in our bank account. So we are going to follow this action with the second action, and we are going to transfer the initial ownership from our 3D NFT marketplace to you, and now you become user and owner of this 3D NFT. So let's say you play with this 3D NFT for a while, and then at some point you decide to put this 3D NFT for sale. You decide on the price you are going to put on this 3D NFT for sale, and let's say there is a second user who comes to the 3D NFT marketplace. They browse through the collections, and they see and like particularly the 3D NFT that you put for sale. So what is going to happen then is the second user goes through the same choices between paying with crypto and paying with the fifth choice of paying with fiat currency. So let's say they select paying with fiat currency. They click on the button to advance next, then they put their number of their debit or credit card, expiration date, CVC, and they click to complete the transaction. What is going to happen is there is going to be a conversion from the national fiat currency of the second user, which could be different than your national fiat currency and different than US dollars, and this transaction is going to be converted to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. We're going to follow this action with second action and transfer of ownership from you to the second user, and now the second user becomes current owner of this 3D NFT. We're going to follow this second action with the third action, and we're going to have a transfer and conversion from US dollars to your national fiat currency, and we're going to deposit the payment for the sale of this 3D NFT in your national fiat currency in your bank account. With this said, I'm ending talking about this first project that I wanted to mention. I like to mention the second project that we're working on, and the second project is related with making products which is going to enable the charging of electric vehicles, and so in currently the way charging of electric vehicles is handled is by people who are living in their they have a house, and this house has a garage, and they have charging station when they come home, like from work to their home. They have their own garage and their own charging station where they can connect their electric vehicles. The second way of charging is through the so-called charging stations modeled in a way internal combustion engines go to gas stations to load fuel, and in the same way there are electric charging stations with limited number of electric charging columns where owners of electric vehicles are coming. They connect electric cable to their vehicle, they stay for certain period of time, they pay for the electric energy loaded in their car, and then they leave. These two ways of charging currently may handle the current number of electric vehicles, but with exponentially growing number of electric vehicles, it is going to become insufficient to handle charging of electric vehicles. Large number of people, especially people living in cities, they're living either in an apartment buildings which have ground or multiple levels of underground parking lots, or people have to park their vehicles outside on the streets, and they're not able to bring charging cables to their vehicles to charge their vehicles. So to help this growing number of electric vehicles and their owners, we anticipate a new model which we label the parking lot model. In the parking lot model, there are going to be number of electric charging stations which are mounted in the parking lots, either in the places people are living. When they come home from work, they have assigned parking lot in this apartment building, and then in this parking lot there could be like a charging station mounted, and the owners of these electric vehicles can connect these cables from these charging stations to their vehicle. They can identify themselves with their debit card or credit card or near field communication token, which can have the form of credit card or keychain token or a ring which a person can wear, and through near field communication they can identify themselves, and they can turn on the electric power in the charger and start charging their vehicle. But in the same way, people who come home from work in their apartment building, then people who go to work, and if their work is in office building which has a ground floor parking lot or multiple levels of underground parking lot, people who come to work in the same way, they can park their vehicle in the parking lot of their workplace, and if this parking lot is outfitted with charging stations, they can connect and start charging their vehicle during the time they work and stay in this building. In this way, like people who come home and come live in apartment buildings, they can charge their vehicle during the evening, during the night and early morning, and people who come to work, they can charge their vehicle during the morning, during the afternoon, and maybe early evening during the time they work in this workplace. So we did write an article describing specifically this model, and you can come to the website which is for this second project that I'm describing. The name and the URL of the website is power.rstack.com. Power is the ordinary word for power, then there's dot, then there's something which sounds like hashtag, which I can spell it letter by letter. It's Alpha Romeo Sierra Tom Echo Charlie Hotel, and altogether it is hashtag, then there's dot, and it ends with com. In addition to this article that I described, we did place 3 different surveys, and I like to invite you to click and fill each one of these surveys. One of these surveys is about the hardware, the other one is about the software, and the third one is about the features. If you're a single user, or if you're a member of certain organization, you can fill these surveys, and it is going to tell us specific products which we can build and we can provide to you, or we can customize an existing product that we are going to release. Currently, the products that we work on include high power and high current electric switch. It includes wireless connection communication capability. It includes also near field communication reader, and it may include multiple additional capabilities, and it includes also electric current measurement, so that we know exactly how much current was loaded in your vehicle, and we can also aggregate and accumulate this information, which is going to be gathered through the charging in multiple stations, and then we can provide this information to the power utility, because the power utility have to know exactly and match at every point the generation of energy with demand of energy. It has to be always in balance, these both capabilities of generation and consumption. So if there is some disbalance between generation and consumption, then this can lead to either inefficiency in generation, where the power utility provides more power than it is consumed, and it essentially wastes resources, or it can lead to blackouts when there is more generation requested to be consumed than generation provided, so the electric utility has to turn off specific sections of the consumers, so that it can meet the demand of the rest of the consumers, and then provide additional generation capability, so that it can provide this energy to the sections which were blacked out. With this said, I'm ending talking about this second project, and I like to mention the third project that we're working on. The third project is called Elements of Artificial General Intelligence, and it is about building a software engine which includes multiple capabilities, and these capabilities are tightly integrated with each other. And this software engine is oriented towards intelligent devices, which can be robotic devices, or other types of intelligent devices, which could be either with motion or standing still capabilities. With this said, I like to mention that we are currently working towards putting this project on the GitHub, so that early evaluators, they can load and start using this software engine. And we're going to also build a website for this third project. The specific the specific element of artificial general intelligence that we currently work on is computer vision. And I like to give you the example. Let's say there are a couple of different objects, and these different objects are seen through a camera, and this camera is providing information to intelligent device. Just by seeing this couple of different things, the computer, the intelligent device cannot say which device, which things is what. And currently we work on the capability of selecting each one of these separate things as an object, and this object is stored in a library of objects for the intelligent device. And then each of these separate objects is going to be tracked by the intelligent device. So what is the exact purpose of this tracking of devices? Intelligent devices, when they are standalone devices, they have their power, they have their battery, and this battery has a limited power it can provide to the intelligent device. So the intelligent device has to look and come to a charging station, and this is so-called life and death question for the intelligent device. Can it find a charging station, and can it come to the charging station and get electric energy that it needs? So this capability has to be autonomous for the intelligent device, so that when user, like if I'm a user and I have multiple intelligent devices, so I don't need to work with each of the intelligent devices to guide them to a charging station, or manually connect them to a charging station, so that they can continue operating and continue charging, so that they have sufficient energy to continue operating. With this said, I'm ending talking of this third project. Thank you for coming, thank you for listening. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and goodbye.